So now we got this crime that happened in Ohio State. These black men of color, attacked white kids, calling them racial slurs, punched them in the face. And Ohio State announced it as a hate crime, and the school flipped out. The school went in rage over that. It shouldn't be a hate crime. It shouldn't be racist. Because he's white. They're black. They can't be racist against whites. Fuck you. If you do the crime and you yell racial slurs at a white man, and if you're a man of color, it's a hate crime. Same goes if a white man yells at you. Yells racial slurs at you, that's a hate crime. Why can't it be both ways? Why does it only have to be one way? I don't understand this shit. This is bullshit. If I was these kids, I'd sue the school, or I don't know what I'd do. I'd do something. The school's helping him. The school's calling it a hate crime. The students are up in outrage. I'd leave that school. Tell their students go to hell. They're all liberals. This is what happens when you get fed liberal ideas your whole life, from school to school to school, and year to year. I wasn't taught that in school. I don't remember ever talking about them trying to beat liberal ideas into my head. But they do nowadays. You can't have a Trump sign. You can't wear a MAGA hat. Everything's racist. If you're white, everything's racist. There's no escaping it. You're racist. You might as well admit it.
Ohio State University students rage after officials declare black-on-white crime a hate crime, report based on false narrative of black-on-white crime. What's good for the goose? Photo by Ty Wright/Bloomberg via Getty. Sarah Taylor. Some students at Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio, are furious after school officials dared refer to a black-on-white crime as a hate crime. Poll: who will win tonight's debate? According to a Sunday report from Campus Reform, a horde of students protested and took their gripes to social media in an attempt to shame the university for its apparently controversial stance. What are the details? Earlier in September, Ohio State University sent out public safety notices to all of its students, initially advising them of a hate crime perpetrated by two African American suspects near the school's Columbus campus. At the time, The Lantern, Ohio State student newspaper, reported that the race of the victims was not divulged, but added that authorities charged the two suspects with felonious assault and assault in connection with the incident. Days after the school initially reported the crime, the Department of Public Safety revealed that the three victims of the crime were white Ohio State students and that the suspects were in custody. One suspect allegedly yelled a racial slur at a student and punched him in the face, Campus Reform reported of the communication. According to University Police Chief Kimberly Spears McNatt, federal law requires the school report hate crimes under 1990's Federal Jean Cleary Act, which requires colleges and universities that receive federal funding to disseminate a public annual security report in addition to mandating the campus report certain crimes that reportedly take place on and near campus. Spears McNatt said that the race of the victims was initially and mistakenly omitted in the initial campus-wide notice. "We apologize for this omission and any questions or concerns it may have caused," Spears McNatt said in an email to The Lantern. University spokesperson Dan Hedman also told The Lantern that because the suspects were of a different race than the victims, the racial slur used in the incident fell under the Cleary Act's definition of a hate crime, and the university was legally obligated to report it as such. The two suspects, however, were not arrested under charges of a hate crime, according to the outlet. What else? The outlet reported that in addition to the blowback of announcing the crime, roughly 100 students gathered outside of the school's administrative offices to demand change to the handling of public safety notices. The Lantern noted that flyers for the protest read, "Why does OSU only uphold the safety of white students?" In response, social media user and purported OSU student Deja Jettings took to Twitter, writing, OSU is mocking their entire black student body right now. They're blatantly making campus more uncomfortable and dangerous for us and POC. OSU is mocking their entire black student body right now. They're blatantly making campus more uncomfortable and dangerous for us and POC. Dejajane Whiteheart, at Dejajane Whiteheart, 159931571.0. Devin Stith, a third-year student at the university, told The Lantern, even if, say, all black people are afraid, scared, think white people are horrible people and are raising all their children to not speak to white people, avoid white people, everything like that, that's not going to affect the white community's success in life in this country. They're not going to be hurt by our rhetoric. But, on the flip side, we have been and will continue to be hurt as long as their rhetoric is destructive. Further, a campus-based group, Student Solidarity at OSU, insisted that the crime was not a hate crime, because such attacks are not based on a history of violence and oppression towards white people. In a Twitter statement, the group wrote, last Thursday, at Ohio State sent out an irresponsible public safety notice that claimed OSU students were the victims of a hate crime. The email identified the alleged attackers as black, while failing to mention that the victims were white. This is unacceptable. The group added, the details of this incident that were shared in OSU's public safety notice do not meet the legal definition of a hate crime. To refer to it as such solely because the alleged perpetrators used a racial slur is illogical. The group added, racial slurs referring to white people are not based on a history of violence and oppression towards white people. Using this slur does not have the same violent, racist implications as a white person saying the N-word, for example, nor does it make this incident a hate crime. The group pointed out that it was the very first time the school considered a black-on-white crime a hate crime. We all know about the many acts of racially motivated discrimination and violence towards BIPOC students that have taken place throughout OSU's past and present. Yet, this appears to be the first time that OSU has issued a public safety notice about a hate crime, the group insisted. Further, the group insisted, the fact that OSU chose this incident as its first reported hate crime is telling. It is rooted in the false narrative of black-on-white crime that white supremacists use to vilify the black community and justify their racism, the group's tweet added. Exclusive video. Will Trump wipe the floor with...
See, I don't understand why it can't be a hate crime. What does it matter? I mean, there's no violence towards black people by the major population today. Yeah, you have racism, but you have it on both sides. And it's a hate crime, pure and simple. They called it right. The school got it right. But these little snowflake kids need to go take their pacifier, suck on it, get your little blanket, go to your safe room, shut your door, turn off the lights, put on your music box, and get over it. It works both ways. Now, if it was a white person and calling the black person the N-word, it would be a hate crime, and you accept that, but you won't accept any racism towards white people. What is wrong with you? It works both ways. That road's 2 lanes. You're big enough to play the game. You're big enough to get charged for it. You want to run your mouth and talk about and run your mouth with racial slurs towards a white person, it's a hate crime. Same goes if a white person does it to the black guy. It's a hate crime. Get over it. Pull up your big boy panties and your big girl panties and strap on those boots and get to work. It is what it is. The school got it right, and you guys are just snowflakes. That's all it is. You just want to whine because you got that liberal mentality beating your head all through school. That's all you're taught is liberal ideas. White people are privileged. Bullshit. I ain't no more privileged than any other race. But you guys are liberal taught. You guys are beat it in your head that you did something wrong because you're white. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't own slaves. Grow up. They need to get rid of these school teachers that are liberal minded. Because these kids ain't learning nothing but liberal views. They beat it into their head. In my day, we was taught the truth. We wasn't no liberal or Democrat or Republican bullshit. Yeah, we didn't care about that shit. But now these teachers beat it in your head. All because Trump's in office? Nah, I don't think so. There's more to it than that, folks. They want to get you comfortable with the ideas that they put in your head. Because there's going to be a big change coming if they get in office. We all know that. And you snowflakes need to get over it and know it. Hear the truth for once, instead of hiding behind the Democratic lies and the liberal left. Get over yourselves. It is what it is.